What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Logistical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date on the ins and outs of what's going on in the government. So if you're interested in that, smash that subscribe button for me and turn on your notifications. And if you also could, do me a big favor right now before we get started and smash that like button for me. It would be a big help, and I would be greatly thankful to everybody who does that. All right, now, so as we all know, that, the Democrats and the left are, they're climate change insanists, I guess you could say. They're all about climate change, right? And we know the climate's changing. But the thing is, when you look into it a little bit, we don't really know for sure if it's being caused by us. We do know we're putting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, right? But these people are going so far, they're trying to ruin our everyday lives. They're trying to take away gas stoves because of climate change. They're trying to shut off the oil and gas industry, which keeps our economy afloat. If the oil and gas industry were to just shut off tomorrow, within a couple of weeks, millions upon millions of people would die. People rely on medicines that are derived from oil, from that industry. All kinds of stuff. You get a month or two down the road, we have no more fast food. We have no more electrical grid. We have no more cars on the road because there's no more gas. So you can't go to work. You don't have your phone anymore. Everybody loves their smartphone. You can't go to Starbucks. The grocery stores have all been sold out because they can't deliver anything because there's no trucks to deliver them in. Our economy would almost immediately fall apart, and these people would love more than to do that for some reason. These are the same people, right, that think that the oceans are going to rise and all this other stuff. They believe in this climate stuff. And yet they go and buy these mansions on the coast. What? That makes no sense whatsoever. If you believe that the climate is changing and hurricanes and all these other stuff is happening because of climate change, and why would you live on the coast? That makes absolutely no sense to me. But hey, I'm just an average everyday idiot. Check this out, y'all. Let's get into the story. Biden administration considers slowing key emissions rules a potential blow to EV growth. Yeah, that's right. So they're seeing the damage of their policies and they're saying, oh crap, this ain't good. I think Biden wants every single new car sold in the United States to be electric by, 2035? Something like that. That's 11 years from now, less than 11 years from now. Are you insane? We don't have charging stations. There's one charging station by my house. And it only holds, I think, 8 vehicles. That's it. For this whole city I live in. 15,000 people that live in just this city alone. Yeah, freaking right. They are going to have to do a whole lot of infrastructure building in this next 11 years to get to that point. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, folks. The Biden administration is considering relaxing stringent vehicle emissions rules it proposed last year, giving automakers more time to meet requirements that would make them sell more electric vehicles, according to 2 sources familiar with the plan. Gotta love it, man. The Environmental Protection Agency's vehicle emission rule is a key plank of President Joe Biden's climate agenda. Biden has made the transition to EV a signature issue of his presidency, stressing the economic impacts in addition to the boost for the climate. But hang on, Joe. We've already learned that it takes 20 to 25 years to offset the impact of an electric vehicle, of what it takes to make the battery and make the car and all this stuff. It takes like 20 years to offset that of a regular internal combustion engine vehicle. A standard vehicle, in other words. Yeah, it takes a long time because of the insane amounts of pollution put out through the mining industry that has to mine the materials to make the batteries with. No, we don't care about that. It doesn't output any carbon dioxide. That's all we care about. Instead of a previously proposed rule that would rapidly increase the number of EVs sold to meet strict emissions requirements, the EPA is considering delaying these requirements until after 2030, the two people said. The EPA rule is not finalized and is expected to be released in the spring. However, one source familiar with the plan said the EPA emissions rule will ultimately reduce nearly as much emissions as the original proposal. It will do it gradually and build in more flexibility for automakers in the beginning. When they unveiled their proposed vehicle emissions rule last April, EPA officials said they were considering several different emissions proposals, which could result in anywhere from a 64% to 69% electric vehicle adoption rate by early next decade, starting with model year 2027 vehicles. The New York Times first reported EPA was considering the change. An EPA spokesperson did not immediately return CNN's request for comment. A top White House climate official stressed Biden's commitment to the transition to electric vehicles. We are harnessing the power of smart investments and standards to ensure U.S. workers will lead, not follow the global auto sector, White House National Climate Advisor Ali Zaidi said in a statement. President Biden's been consistent in moving us forward, accelerating U.S. leadership on this critical technology for our economy and environment. But some advocates blasted the move as a concession to automakers, saying it reflects the reality that U.S. legacy automakers are lagging far behind Tesla and Chinese EV companies like BYD. Automakers are pretty much opposed to the rules, Dan Baker, director of Safe Climate Transport Campaign at the environmental group Center for Biological Diversity, told CNN in an interview. They had fallen over themselves to make EVs. Now they're trying to run the other way as fast as they can. They're trying to wring the last profits they can out of gas-guzzling vehicles. The United Auto Workers Union, a key group that recently endorsed Biden for president in 2024, has long been sounding the alarm about what a shift to EVs means for their workers. And former President Donald Trump has railed against EVs in his speeches as he seeks the Republican nomination for president. See, I don't mind electric vehicles. Let that technology come in, let that technology grow, and slowly take over. You can't force this stuff on people. People are going to reject it when you try to force it on people. I know that's how I am. If they would not have came out so hard about that damn vaccine, I bet you a lot more people would have taken it. I didn't take it. I'm never going to take it because they wanted to force me to take it. Joe Biden unconstitutionally, talking about shredding constitutional norms, unconstitutionally tried to get OSHA to force people to take a vaccine. That is outright insane. You cannot do that, Joe Biden. The Supreme Court struck it down, of course. But it's trying to force people into electric vehicles. We don't have the infrastructure for it. Do you realize how much more of a strain on our already strained grid that would put? That would put an insane amount of strain on the grid. All these people charging their cars at night. What? Yeah, right. There's no charging stations. There's not a lot of charging stations. I'll put it that way. In my area, like I said, we've got one at Walmart. I don't know of any others in my city. You go right across the lake to Lake Charles. There's several, but Lake Charles has a population of about 60,000 people. You know, I've seen maybe 4 or 5 in Lake Charles. I work in Lake Charles, so I'm all over the place all the time. It's only about a 5-minute drive. So, you know, you got 6, maybe 7 charging stations in the area of about 80,000 people, because there's like 4 little cities right here. So you got about 80,000 people in population in the greater metropolitan area, if you want to call it that. So, no, there's no way we could just switch over to electric vehicles in 10 years. They would have to build a lot more charging stations. A whole lot more charging stations. Or make the batteries a whole lot better than what they do now. I just don't see it happening. I've always been a big proponent of, I think we're going to innovate our way out of climate change through either, cleaning up the oil industry to where we don't hardly produce any, toxic chemicals, I should say, because carbon dioxide is plant food. That's going to help plants breathe. Plus, we have the technology. It's called carbon capture. They use graphene to capture carbon out of the damn atmosphere. Yeah, there's that. We can innovate our way out of this. I've also been a big proponent of solar panels. I would love to have solar panels on my house to where I don't have to rely on the grid. Hey, I've said that before. If Biden wants to take that $60 billion he wants to send to Ukraine and put solar panels on a bunch of houses, hey, I'd be totally fine with that. Go right ahead. How about make it $100 billion? I'd be fine with that. You want to take that $14 billion that you're going to send to Israel for no damn good reason and make a bunch of charging stations? I'd be on board with that. Go right ahead. But this whole crap, it's backfiring. I'll put it that way. That's what I'm getting from that story. It's backfiring. But let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Are we going to just magically get off of your standard vehicles and switch to EVs all of a sudden? No. It's going to take a while. The technology has to blossom itself out. It's not just going to evolve overnight. We've only recently been able to make a good electric vehicle. 10 years ago? Something like that. And now they expect to switch totally off of internal combustion engines over a 20-year span. Get real, folks. Get real. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Impossible. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. And that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day and be positive. Peace.